I hope everyone out there has had a fantastic Wednesday. Hope you guys are ready for some live 2024 fantasy football drafts. Hopping into an Underdog fantasy football draft tonight. Getting into a best ball mania while we are about to hit that 70% fill rate on the tournament thus far. It's August 14th. You got to get these entries in. But you guys know what it is. We're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to talk some fantasy football. Hop in the live chat. Anything that you guys need, any fantasy football questions, redraft, dynasty, best ball, any format, whatever it may be. Let's have some fun tonight. Let's talk some fantasy football, ladies and gentlemen. So, a little bit of news to go over today. I'll probably go ahead and enter the lobby at 10:24 p.m. Eastern time. We'll try to give it an extra minute tonight. So, a minute or two, and then we'll get into the lobby. And you guys, get in the lobby with me. Draft a fantasy football team with me, okay? Let's do it. If you guys are new to Underdog Fantasy, promo code the catch, link down below. First time 50% deposit match up to $250 with promo code the catch and a free mystery pick'em. All right, in terms of what we've got going today, got an injury to Jordan Addison. I don't know what's going on with the Vikings, but it has been a bad offseason for the Vikings and a bad couple of days for the Vikings. At least they got Justin Jefferson re-signed, though. So the first report was that we had Jordan Addison being carted off the field, so everyone was like freaking out. Like all the initial reports were like, "This does not look good. This is a bad situation. Jordan Addison's career is over. Whatever." And then it turns out, according to Kevin O'Connell, it's an ankle injury, considered to not be serious. So we'll have to kind of sit back. And I'm going to enter the lobby right now. Best Ball Mania, 30 seconds, 3, 2, 1. We got one spot. Get in the draft. Hopefully some of you guys got in here with me. But, yeah, ankle injury for Jordan Addison. So we'll have to kind of see. He's going to be day-to-day, probably be a couple weeks here, but certainly not good for the Vikings, who just lost J.J. McCarthy. And now we have our boy Jordan Addison, who's already looking at a looming suspension, a court case in October, now looking at missing time from injury. So, not good. How does this impact fantasy football? Well, I think you're going to see Jordan Addison shift back a round or two, another round or two from where he was already shifted back. I mean, you look at drafts where Josh Downs goes, like we don't know, in comparison to Josh Downs, how serious this ankle injury is. I mean, we don't even know for sure, like if it's a, low sprain, high sprain, the severity. We don't know if it's even a sprain. So we'll have to kind of sit back and get an update, but I do think you're going to see Jordan Addison definitely fall in terms of ADP for the time being. I don't think that's going to surprise anyone. In terms of Justin Jefferson, I mean, I do think to a degree this obviously helps Justin Jefferson from the standpoint that, like, there's more volume now for Justin Jefferson. But at the same time, like, when you had the best offensive performers on the field, that leads to the best overall offense, and that leads to the most potential points scored for a player like Justin Jefferson. So you already got TJ Hawkinson out for the first half of the season, at least the first 6 weeks. I'm going to assume Hawkinson's out for 6 weeks. I think he's going to come back after the week 6 bye. Now you got Addison probably going to miss a couple weeks here, bleed into the season. Then like you've got the situation in terms of the legal stuff going on as well. Sorry, trying to make my draft pick. I don't like the 1.11 right now because you're staring at Puka, MH Jr., Gibbs, and Drake London, just like the ugliest place to be right now. I'll take Puka. I'm not really too worried about this Puka situation. But yeah, and now, I mean, you got J.J. McCarthy going down. Sam Darnold was going to be the guy anyways. Like, I don't really think that impacts fantasy. But yeah, I think having Addison, having J.J. both on the field probably would have been beneficial for the Vikings. And at some point this year, J.J., Addison, and Hawkinson will all be on the field. The worst thing that could happen now is an injury to Aaron Jones. I feel like I've drafted Puka and Marvin Harrison Jr. from the 1.11 like way too often this year. Gibbs goes at pick 13. No dip on Gibbs tonight. I've been drafting a lot of Gibbs lately with seeing him fall at a dip. So yeah, really other than the Addison thing, I mean, we had Matthew Stafford hamstring tightness exiting Wednesday's joint practice. Don't overthink this. This is a much older quarterback, veteran quarterback, who can leave practice when he wants if he feels like he needs to take a precaution. Don't overthink this at all. Stafford's fine. Mark Andrews involved in a car accident, but no injuries. So, good news for Mark Andrews. Glad he is okay. The expectation for Jahmyr Gibbs is that he will be ready for week 1, which is all we've talked about since the hamstring injury happened. I'm glad this report came. I'm actually kind of not glad this report came out because we have been buying the dip on Gibbs consistently in drafts. We got Gibbs at pick 20, Gibbs at pick 19, pick 18. Maybe this will set people back a little bit to reality. As long as there's no setbacks, he should be fine. All right, TikTok chat. What's going on, Jakesenberg? In a 12-man, my top 3 picks were Jamar, MH Jr., and Olave from the 4. Not bad at all for a 12-man. I mean, from the 4, you got Jamar, and then MH Jr. fell that far. And you got Olave at pick 28. You should feel very good. Ryan, Jamar, or Jay Jettis in half PPR, you're going to want to look at who gives you the most potential touchdown upside. And at this point in time, I'm going to lean Jamar Chase because of the issues arising for the Vikings offense. But I'm not necessarily out on Justin Jefferson. I still think he'll be fine. But I'll go Jamar at this immediate moment. Should I do CMC for Hill as the Ravernham 25? It really depends on your roster. Going to need more of a breakdown there, what your running back / wide receiver rooms look like. I mean, it's an even trade. You're just swapping RB1 for wide receiver 1. Who's your fave wide receiver after the top 8? It kind of depends on who your top 8 are. I would say most people right now will go Lamb, Hill, Chase, St. Brown, JJ. So that's 5. AJ Brown, Wilson, and then we'll leave Puka in there. So I mean, I really do like Drake London this season. I'm fine with Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm very high on Nico Collins personally. I like Jalen Waddle and Chris Olave in this range. Not out on Debo, but his new ADP has been a little bit interesting, to say the least. Like I'm fine with Kupp and Adams, but Kupp is moving up drastically in ADP. I'm not a Malik Neighbors guy in fantasy this year unless you're getting him in like the 4th round. I love me some Devonta Smith, love me some DJ Moore. I think there's a lot of really good value in the third, fourth, and fifth round at wide receiver this year. Kobe, good to see you in the YouTube chat. What's your favorite draft spot this year? Actually, I beginning the offseason, I really ended up liking the 1.2. I got so used to drafting from the 1.2. And generally, I like a later first round pick. I think right now, if I'm able to land like Breece Hall or Bijan Robinson at the 1.8, then get pick 17 and 32, I feel pretty good because you still get a high value second round pick. And then I think there's still good value mid, late third round and mid, or like kind of first half of the fourth round. So right in that area. I'm starting to not really like the 1.7, 1.12. I don't mind them. It's just, I usually really like the end and getting the turn. But right now, I feel a little strange as I am drafting from the 1.11. Cats, good to see you. JJ going down as in JJ McCarthy. We have to specify our JJs who are injured on the Vikings. Lowers Jefferson's floor significantly, in my opinion. Previously, he had 2 outs to a good quarterback. I mean, sure, but I think Darnold is fine. Like, is Darnold any better than Nick Mullins? And JJ balled out with Nick Mullins last year. Give me Pittman, but I'm fine with Flowers or Cooper. I'm okay with Diggs here, too, at pick 38, but I already have Tank Dell, so. Going aggressive at wide receiver, Puka, MH Jr., Dell, Pittman to start the draft tonight. So, yeah, I mean, do you agree, Cats? Not every wide receiver has to have, 2 good quarterbacks in front of him, right? Kobe, would you rather start your draft Amon-Ra, MH, Debo, or Gibbs, Wilson, Cup? Probably Amon-Ra, MH Jr., Debo. But, I don't really mind. You're either looking at an aggressive wide receiver start or a hero RB start. I do like Wilson and Cup behind Gibbs. But my favorite player out of all 6 of these players is Amon-Ra St. Brown. So, Matt, PPR 12 team, Bijan, Laporta, Nico, Ayuk, Pickens, Najee, Swift. Any thoughts on my first 7 picks? You look fine. Kind of double dipping into Pittsburgh's offense, which worries me a little bit. But at given value, put everything aside and draft the best players, probably what you did. RB1 is Bijan. RB2 is Najee or Swift. Tight end is Laporta. Then you got Nico, Ayuk. Pickens in the flex. Is it a double or a single flex? If it's a single flex, I think you're fine where you are. All right, moving back over to the TikTok chat. Keep the fantasy questions coming, guys. Appreciate everyone tuning in tonight. Full disclosure, I'm still sick, but I'm doing my best. What's the draft strategy at pick 10 in a 12-man PPR? Asks Blake Casal. I think you're kind of in a unique spot right now where you're still in the top 10 players. We have a lot of drama right outside pick 10 with Puka's injury. Do you like Drake London or not? Some people don't. I do personally. Are you worried about Gibbs' injury? You shouldn't be. Do you think Marvin Harrison Jr.'s ceiling is not that high this coming season? Then you see guys like Debo and even Kupp bleeding into that area right now. So for me, I think you take Garrett Wilson or A.J. Brown. If they are not there, that means probably Bijan or Breece is there. Maybe for some weird reason, Amon-Ra or J.J. fell out. So for me, you're either really there's 2 strategies, maybe 3 strategies that I'm following this year, really regardless of draft position. And that would be a hero running back strategy, a double hero running back strategy, or just aggressive at wide receiver where you draft 4 wide receivers in a row. So it's going to really depend. If you end up with Garrett Wilson there, you can still go hero running back from pick 15. This team goes Garrett Wilson, then Jonathan Taylor, right? You can go 2 wide receivers and end up with Pacheco or Derrick Henry, which I don't really think is going to happen in a typical redraft league, but in a best ball draft like you see on the screen, um, you know, that might happen. So I think it's more likely you're going to, if you go hero running back and you don't get Brees or Hall at pick 10, which you could go Gibbs there, then you're probably going to go hero RB from pick 15 and get like JT or Barkley. Maybe Kyron as well. But yeah, I think you're in a spot where you can get one of these wide receivers that's worth it still in the first round. And I would probably do that. I mean, it's full PPR, so I want that stud wide receiver. And then for me, I think it's okay to start kind of hero RB, get JT, Gibbs, Barkley there, and then go back to wide receiver in the 3rd and 4th round. And frankly, I'd probably take another wide receiver in the 5th and then take an RB in the 6th round. Then after that, you're just kind of playing the board. You're drafting those lower tier running backs. You're banking on that RB1 you got earlier, and you're going to let a quarterback and tight end fall to you. Do not overthink quarterback and tight end this year. It's not that serious. Especially quarterback. Tight end, if you want to get a tight end by like round 6, 7, or 8, I'm not going to knock it. But I'm just not drafting Kelsey, Laporta, Andrews, McBride. Kincaid's the one guy in that kind of elitish tier. Like in the 5th round, I can stomach it. Pitts, Kittle, Ingram, Ferguson. Those are the guys I'm really looking for. And if I don't get one of them, then I'm just punting it. And I'm going like a combination of Goddard, Freiermuth, Schultz, Komet, Hawkinson, Musgrave. Let's see. I will take Rashad White. Go right along. J-Lock, is it good that I have Hill, Puka, Hall, and Gibbs? I mean, yes. And an 8-man, yeah. That's the thing, an 8-man is like, you're just looking for the most given upside every week, so you're going to have plenty of upside with those 4 guys. Raphael, sorry, I can't pronounce anything to save my life. Wow, Hollywood. Oh, that guy's got Mahomes. What kind of league is this? This is Underdog. So this is a best ball tournament. All right, let me make this pick. All right, I'm going to go a little unorthodox here. I'm going to grab 2 running backs here a little bit earlier than usual. Usually I go wide receiver here, pick 62. Chris Godwin, Jaden Reed, Deontay Johnson, Calvin Ridley. But I'm going to switch it up and get Mixon here since we have that exposure to Tank Dell. And then I'm going to be trying to eye. See, I don't think Kyler's going to come back to me. But if Kyler falls, I'll go get Kyler. The team that has McBride might be looking for him at pick 79 or potentially even pick 66. Kyler's the top-rated quarterback, but that's okay if not. I'll just go after Stafford for the stack. DeBear, Rayburn, Ham. CMC, ETN, London, Cup, T. Higgins, Ingram. So what, that puts ETN as your RB1? Who's your RB2? So what, you got London, Cup, Higgins. I would just roll. I would keep this team as is. I would keep this team as is. Because, like, I mean, it really depends on who your RB2 would end up being behind ETN. I'd probably just roll CMC, ETN as my RB2, play London, Cup, and Higgins, then you got Ingram at tight end. J-Lock says in an 8-man, he has Hall, Hill, Gibbs, Andrews, and Puka. That was the same message as before, right? Except you added the tight end. Yeah, I mean, for an 8-man, that's perfectly fine. Cat says Mike is a bit low. I need to literally just order a new mic. I don't know what's wrong with my mic. Sorry, that's why I've had it so close to my face. Is because I just don't know. I just turned it off. It's turned up as high as possible, and I've checked my settings and everything, and I think it might just be Streamlabs. I don't know. But yeah, I'm working on getting a new mic, and because when I record, for example, my volume's super low when I record, super annoying. So if my mic sucks for you guys, I'm double checking now, but it's the worst time of year to have something like that happen. Kat says Nick Mullins was throwing against Lions trash secondary 2-3 games. Plus, I do think Darnold should be okay / decent, but if he's not, we don't get another shot at it in the hopes that McCarthy is good. I mean, that viewpoint's fair. I mean, where do you think JJ should go then? After AJ Brown? Because it's not like you're going to push him back to where Adams goes, right? Because, I mean, Adams is in a similar situation with O'Connell / Minshew. Except, I guess, neither of them are hurt, right? All right, let's see if Kyler falls to us at 83. The team that had McBride didn't take him. Oh, wait, I'm dumb. They're drafting at 7. I think they're going to take him. Spaghetti 3. I got the Andrews and McBride teams backwards here. Yeah, good pick for him. Good value on Kyler, 6 picks ahead of ADP. I might take a tight end. If Evan Ingram's here at 83, then I'm not letting him pass at 83. Way too good a value. If not, I'll probably go Jameson Williams. There's a couple names here that I like. There goes Jameson Williams. See ya. Never mind. And there goes Ingram. Why do I even, every time I talk, why? Okay, I don't think the team in front of me is going to take Ferguson. Man, I can't take Addison here. I think Cortland Sutton's the best available wide receiver, so just give me Sutton. If he takes Ferguson, I'll just take my next running back, which is Ramondre or Zamir White. But yeah, I'll take Ferguson here. That's a pretty solid start. I mean, we got our 2 running backs in Rashad White and Mixon, Puka, MH Jr., Tank Dell, Pittman, Cortland Sutton, and our tight end 1 Ferguson. We're going to be eyeing Matthew Stafford to stack with Puka, and we'll see what else happens. Decent start. All right, any fantasy football questions you guys have, throw them in the chat, whether you guys are on TikTok or YouTube. Those of you in the TikTok chat, there's a YouTube link. Does that link even work? Is that a clickable link that I just put in? If not, if you guys go to the TikTok page, it's on the front page. It's on the TikTok channel. Cats, for what it's worth, I would still take him over Chase, my wide receiver 5, but just pointing out his floor gets lowered rather than ceiling. Yeah. I mean, it's fair. I mean, the point about the Lions being the matchup last year is definitely fair with Mullins at quarterback. What was the other matchup? Green Bay. It's like only had 10 points against Green Bay. 26 against Detroit. 36. Did Mullins play week 15? Hold on. So Mullins played week 15, 16, 17, and 18. So, yeah. Cincinnati's secondary last year, I don't really remember how they ranked fantasy-wise, like against wide receivers. I mean, this is the main thing. JJ had 10 targets, 10 targets, 10 targets, 14 targets. Like, as long as he's getting double-digit targets, I think he's fine. Terry, trade Ayuk to acquire Devonta Smith and half PPR. I mean, I'm very high on Devonta Smith. I am a Devonta Smith guy, to say the least. I have been like every year of fantasy since he's been a player in the NFL. But I think I would hold and kind of see what happens with the Ayuk situation. Because, you know, in half PPR, you're going for touchdown upside. And I think those guys are pretty close. But I still, as much as I think the Eagles' offense is going to be fine this year, I still like the Niners' offense more. So, I as long as Ayuk is there, I would rather have Ayuk at the end of the day. You know? But it is close. And if you prefer Devonta Smith, I think that's fine. You know, as long as it's just close. It's close. By the way, I don't think TikTok let me send the link in the chat for you guys. I don't think it lets us send links. But yeah, I mean, chat. Here, we'll go ahead and do the poll on YouTube. Who? Yeah. Drafting. Devonta or Ayuk? And we'll specify half PPR. All right, back on the clock. Let's go Brian Robinson Jr. Okay, a lot of good buzz around Brian Robinson Jr., who we've talked about a lot in the offseason already. I mean, I like Brian Robinson. I have liked Austin Eckler at his ADP as well. But we're getting like more and more coach speak around Brian Robinson Jr., and you did ultimately see him get more touches in that first preseason game than Austin Eckler. I still like both at their ADP, but man, I was hoping Shaheed would fall here. I think where Brian Robinson Jr. gets drafted is be really tempting to keep passing up. All right, just give me Tajay. Tajay is another guy that I'm starting to get a lot more shares of. I just like him at his given ADP quite a bit. Man, I remember when Stafford's ADP was like 155. Now he's up to 146. D. Charles, good to see you, man. What's up? What's up? Welcome to it. Terry, which 3 picks to start a full PPR draft with Hill, Olave, London, A-Chain? Wait, hold on. Hill, Olave, London, A-Chain, Debo, Cup, Henry, Etienne. So just out of these players, which 3? I would go like what I think is realistic: Hill, Olave, or Hill, Debo, and then Henry. I just don't know if we're really going to be able to get Henry as a actual hero RB in the third. I think in some leagues you will, but it just kind of depends on um, when you're actually drafting, because his ADP just continues to rise. Sorry, I was drinking. Which of these three would you target with your first three picks? That's still kind of how I answered it. Yeah, I think Hill in the first. Where you're drafting Hill, like you're gonna have to have an early draft pick though. So I'm assuming Hill's your first round guy. Then I think you can get Olave or Debo. I mean, really, Olave, London, Debo, Cup, any of those guys, fine. And then A-Chain or Henry or ETN as your RB is fine too. Carrion asked who went in the beginning of the draft. So there's the board. 3 running backs gone in the first. C-Mac, Hall, Bijan. We have Gibbs fall out to the 2.1. Other than that, all wide receivers: Chase, Lamb, Hill, Amon-Ra, JJ, Brown, Wilson, Puka, London. Second round there, also all wide receivers: running backs, Gibbs, JT, Barkley, A-Chain. You got MH Jr., Debo, Nico, Olave, Waddle, Neighbors, Cup, Adams. Third round, you start to see some tight ends, quarterbacks in here. But DJ Moore, Evans, Ayuk, Devonta, Kyron, Henry, Pacheco. Then you also got Dell Metcalf, a wide receiver, Kelsey Laporta, tight end, Allen, the only quarterback. Fourth round, 2 more quarterbacks in Mahomes and Hurts, 2 tight ends in McBride and Andrews. Then all wide receivers. It's a really good round for wide receivers in my mind. Pittman, Flowers, Diggs, Rice, Cooper, Higgins, Pickens. And we were just talking about this on last night's stream. This is where I think Rashee Rice is going to start to go. Right around this tier. Right around the Cooper, Diggs, Flowers area. And this is the second draft today that I've seen him go in the middle of the 4th round. So, interesting to see. I remember consistently drafting Rashee Rice at picks 72, 73, 70, 75 early in the offseason. Good times. Nino, would you consider Jay Jettis at the 1.3 crazy? No, I mean, I don't really consider any of those top tier guys like crazy necessarily, because at the end of the day, you know, I always say when it comes down to it, the most important thing you can do for the first round is identify from your draft selection if you're going to draft a running back or wide receiver, and then identify who your guy is, who's your target, and just draft them. I mean, like, there's a lot of people you can ask. There's a lot of videos you can watch. There's a lot of articles you can read. There's a lot of rankings you can look at. But at the end of the day, make sure in the first round is where you have the smallest room for error, you know? That is where you want to draft the player that you have the most personal conviction in. I'll go Jalen Polk here. I don't really like it, but can I get Stafford to fall to me? Who's got Cup? I don't know if I'm gonna get past the Cup team. I almost took Tua unstacked there. Ooh. This is a really dumb pick. I'm going to go Chuba here. It's a dumb pick because I know Chuba's not going to make it back, but I also know Stafford's probably not going to make it back, and Chuba has a lower ADP. But right now I have a little bit of a cushion. Tua, Herbert, Cousins. We'll see. How come you aren't liking Polk that much? Booty offense. Yeah, I mean, basically. Basically, why? I mean, I think Polk is fine, but I really like. I'm taking some shares of Polk. The Patriots wide receiver I've been drafting more of is Pop Douglas. And he just is a little bit cheaper in these drafts. I mean, he's going at 157. It's like really retrospectively, if I want, because really I was going to go back-to-back wide receiver there. Then I decided probably better to get a running back or quarterback here, and some good tight ends there. So I mean, that's the thing. You can get Douglas at like one. I probably could have got him at 158 if I wanted exposure to that offense. So, but it's okay. Yeah, I think he's fine. I just think there's of course an opportunity here for more than one guy to step up as the Patriots wide receiver one. And I mean, I always say it, like, bad offenses still produce good fantasy players. So especially in full PPR, like, and I mean, this is a half PPR draft we're in, but you know, generally in full PPR, like, even if it's a bad offense, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the end of the day especially for the wide receiver position. So I digress. Terry, care to rank these three running backs? Walker, Mixon, Connor, and Cook. Yeah. Well, it's 4 running backs, Terry. Quit drinking. I'll go James Cook, number 1. Why did this guy take Stafford? Oh, that's the Cup. I thought the Cup guy was at 3. Okay, that makes sense. All right, we're going to go in on some unstacked quarterbacks here. I will put James Cook as number 1. I think that receiving upside and touchdown upside is high for James Cook this year. So I'm all in on James Cook. I think the Bills are going to funnel through him as much as, I mean, really they're funneling through Josh Allen. But all in on Cook. Love him at his ADP. And then I'll go Kenneth Walker. I really think Kenneth Walker is being undervalued right now. Love where he's going in drafts. The Seahawks are talking about using him more and more on the ground and through the air. Kenneth Walker's a guy that I think is going to end up being a draft day steal for a lot of people. Then also go Mixon. I think Mixon's fine. But there's a lot of mouths to feed on that Texans offense. But I think Mixon's fine. Mixon's been, a top 15 running back like every year for the past 5 years, except the year he was hurt. So, yeah, I mean, I'm still fine with Mixon for sure. I think the upside's a little bit higher for the other two because of their offensive situations. And then I'll go Connor. I'm not like out on Connor. It's just I don't really see a high ceiling for Connor. But Connor is fine. Like, he's going to be super consistent. For sure. All right, we have a community draft Saturday night. And no, I have and Sunday night, yeah. I have 2 drafts Sunday night. I have 3 drafts this weekend. I will stream as many of them as I think I'll stream both the catch ones for you guys. Yeah, so I definitely could have got Pop Douglas, but it's okay. Yeah, I'm just going to have to go unstacked at quarterback here. Just okay, so I'll go Herbie and then Rodgers or Baker. I don't. have any reason to take either. I'll take Baker just because I think I can maybe get Cade Otton at 179. John, no running back coming off a torn Achilles has ever been fantasy relevant the next season. Who are we talking in regards to? Who tore their Achilles last year? Aaron Rodgers did. But he's not a running back. J.K. Dobbins? Cam Akers? J.K. Dobbins. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm not really in on J.K. Dobbins. I've been on the Gus bus all off season long. Usually for Achilles, it's like you really want to get, it's like a 2-year recovery. That second year back is typically better. All right, 4 rounds left. Got Herbert and Baker at quarterback. Right now unstacked, but we might be able to cook something up, some low-level stacks. But there goes Jalen McMillan. I was just thinking about him, but oh well. Rashad White, Joe Mixon, Brian Robinson, Tajay Spears, Chuba Hubbard at running back. Puka, M.H. Jr., Tank Dell, Michael Pittman, Cortland Sutton, Jalen Polk at wide receiver, and Jake Ferguson at tight end. So going to be targeting another tight end and preferably Cade Otton. Then that's the thing is there are some late round Chargers wide receivers. But one of them's Quentin Johnston. Dude, the coaches are still talking up Quentin Johnston. DJ Chark's in the mix too. Man, Jordan Whittingham has moved up in ADP. He's at 210. All right, Cade Otton's the top available tight end, so he might go. But yeah, I don't think there's any notable Tampa Bay wide receivers here. Man, I just remember McMillan not going this early before. There goes Johnny Smith. Yeah, I mean, this team needed a tight end, but come on, man. All right, if I am at this position at tight end, I just draft Ben Sennett. Had a big catch in the preseason game, so I feel good about him again. I come off him for a little bit. You got Chicken Conquo, who's apparently facing snap competition from Joshua Weil. He was a rookie last year. Mike Gesicki I like as well. I mean, I think Gesicki is probably the best value tight end, but we might be able to get him around later. So I'm going to do the unthinkable and draft Quentin Johnston to stack with Justin Herbert and probably regret this decision in my life. Very, very, very deeply for long to come. But I'm going to at least draft DJ Chark here and hope that does something good for our Justin Herbert selection. If this was a redraft format, I would not be doing that. Because it is a best ball format, I will do it. Tommy, good to see you, bro. Hello, hello. Tillamook raspberry white ice cream. To the moon. Yeah, I ate some Halo Top right before the stream. Had to let you guys know on Discord. Yeah, that brand of ice cream is like the best, Tommy. White chocolate anything is my jam too. All right, 2 more picks in the draft tonight. Your dream landscape. How can I join next draft? I mean, best thing to do is hop on Discord, which if you hop onto the front of the TikTok channel and then hop on the YouTube link, you will see in our YouTube description on all our videos the link for my Discord. That'll let you know when I'm going live and all that good stuff. All right, guys, I do have to actually jet out of here early because my daughter just woke up and she is not happy. So I will be back on tomorrow night. Stay posted for all of our content coming out this week. Hit me up on Discord, Sleeper, whatever you guys need. If you guys need anything fantasy related, let me know. And other than that, thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on The Catch. And peace.